is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here live to talk about some wrestling outside of the United States. As we now have done for the first time in 2021, we are going to discuss NXT UK. As I've in recent weeks have gone back and caught up on what's been going on with the UK brand. This is going to be a recap of what's been happening with the show from November 19th, 2020 until January 28th, 2021. I actually had caught up before the January 28th show last week, but I thought finish out the month and go from there. So that's what I did. And again, I'm just here just to check in and just discuss the UK and say, hey, I'm still paying attention to it, because as I always say, the UK brand's still pretty solid. I gotta even say, after the set of tapings, it's solid. And again, I still don't feel the need to watch it religiously every single week. Like I watch Raw and SmackDown and NXT and AEW. But like I said, it's a nice, something different show for me to go back and watch. Some fresh talent, fresh matches, fresh feuds. It's solid. It's still not the best wrestling show in the world, but it's still solid. I like it. And I do enjoy going back and watching it and seeing all these other stars be developed in the UK. And I just hope they get to get fans back sometime too. Because, trust me, I've said NXT suffers from not having fans. The UK, the chants they came up for those guys, if you hate Gibson, shoes off. If you hate Gibson, shoes off. Tyler Bate, Tyler Bate, Tyler Bate. It's fun. It's just fun to see, a live in crowd. And, again, they're definitely very into it. But live chat first before we go on. We got JR. What's up, JR? He's just supposed to be on Raw tonight to pick who he wants to face for the Edge's supposed to be on Raw to see who he's gonna pick who's gonna face at WrestleMania. Okay, we'll see what happens when we get to Raw in about 15 or so minutes. But first, I'll take care of some business right here. Also, I did try to do one take of this, but unfortunately my stream glitched for a second. And just when it looked like it was actually working, I had ended it on the last attempt. So this is take 2 of the UK. But let's talk about what happened. Again, some solid stuff. A new star was built, I felt, in between these tapings. We got some nice feuds mainly for the women's. The women's championship had a lot of title defenses. Only 2 really, but had most of the action as far as main event scene. Here we had one UK title defense, and we did have one tag title defense also as well, and then we had number 1 contenders match also. We also had the debut of a new star, and we have one on their way. And oh boy, when I saw this one, I'm like, oh yes, I cannot wait to see this one. In fact, actually, next year, I want this one we'll talk about at the end to be in next year's Women's Royal Rumble match as a surprise entrant. Holy hell, would that be just awesome. But let's roll in. Let's talk about the show. So, we had a return, which was Sam Gradwell, who came back after being gone for 2 years, I think it was, with an injury. Not sure. He was around at the beginning of the UK brand, and he was gone for quite a while. I forgot what injury he had. Obviously, with the pandemic and such, though, he didn't have a chance to come back. But he came back, but he's done nothing but lose so far. I mean, he's got an interesting persona, but he's had matches with, I think, Joe Coffey, which I'm confused completely. Is Gallus supposed to be baby faces, or are they tweeners? I'm not sure. Even though they're kind of getting the Finn Balor trim, they're mainly facing heels, but they still don't come off me as 100% baby faces. But we had Gradwell lose to Joe Coffey. I know he lost to Tyler Bate, and I think he also lost to another debuting star, I think, which we'll talk about him in a second. But he made his return. Rampage Brown, of course, is another newer guy who's been built up. and he's starting to take on some more serious competition. He actually took on Dave Mastiff in a solid match on the January 21st edition of the UK, and it looks like next he is going after Joe Coffey, which also would be another great name for his resume. Again, could Rampage Brown still be the one maybe to dethrone Walter? Maybe, we'll see. Because other than him, like, I really don't see anybody else right now dethroning Walter. Unless he did. I don't think we've done. Have we done? Maybe non-title. I feel like we've done Trent Seven and Walter in a non-title match. I think. I don't quote me on it, but I'm not sure. But it could be Rampage Brown. Who knows? We also had an interesting follow-up from what happened with Ilya Dragunov and the match of the year candidate him and Walter had last October. Obviously, the story being told is Dragunov getting his more emotional side, being more brought out. And then, obviously, he wanted to start fresh, he wanted to start new, so he asked his buddy, Jack Stars, who he had his debut match against, said, hey, you and I go at it again, just give each other a clean slate for fresh starts? Yeah, sure. Well, the match happened, but Dragunov really got into it. Again, the whole idea of Dragunov being emotional, whatnot, really built up in him in that match, and he actually beat Stars by knockout. And even afterwards, he was even being interviewed. He says, honestly, I feel bad for what I did for Jack. I don't know what the hell happened. But basically, he let his emotions just get to him. Obviously, again, he's hungry to get another title match against Walter, as he came up very close in that physical, grueling, just hard to watch match that they had. So I don't know if this is continuing to bring out more of an emotional side for Dragunov, and they're going to eventually turn Dragunov heel. Maybe, I don't know, because they're going to bring him, or they're going to make him purely just an aggressive babyface. That could be the case. Also, who knows? But so I don't know where they're going to go with him after this, but seems like some type of a little bit more of a fire is coming out of Ilya Dragunov, especially coming out of his match with Walter. And then of course we have a new talk show, and one edition so far, the OMDAR's Supernova Sessions, and the person that he interviewed was no one other than Ben Carter, who definitely interests me. First, they gave him a big hype, especially when they pointed out he trained with Seth Rollins, and Rollins even endorsed him as well. It's like a very good talent, had a good interview, and the Cruiserweight Champion over in NXT UK, which, let's talk about that first, also before we go on with Ben Carter, because that kind of evolves into this. Jordan Devlin is still Cruiserweight Champion. Yet Santos Escobar is champion there as well. This set of tapings, Devin was ensured that he is the real Cruiserweight Champion. Because in the previous set of tapings that we talked about, he was mad because WWE, NXT basically, again, had that interim Cruiserweight Championship tournament, but eventually took the word interim off, and they basically are still calling Santos Escobar the actual Cruiserweight Champion. Well, Jordan Devlin's like, no, it's actually me, but then they actually just went along with saying it. But my thing was this, again, I get it, there may be some issues still with, traveling back and forth because of the pandemic, but why are we just going with the flow like there's still two Cruiserweight Champions, I'd say, at this point, at least let's have a fire go back and forth between them. Or eventually they're going to give it just to a baby face like, a Jake Atlas or Kurt Stallion, or even a Ben Carter, or who else it looks like they're going to start having a feud with between Jordan Devlin and someone else for the Cruiserweight Championship. Again, it's just a weird elephant in the room that they're kind of beating around the bush, around the corners with. So that was a little bit odd, but Devlin had a couple really good, solid matches defending the title in an open challenge. I know he defeated Amir Jordan. He also had a match with Ben Carter because he came out and basically challenged Ben Carter for a match in his debut night in NXT UK and put the Cruiserweight title on the line. And it was a great match. Again, like I said, Jordan Devlin, I've always been a fan of his work. Ben Carter, though, definitely digging him and interested to see what he does. But now it's looking like the next feud for Jordan Devlin is Trent Seven. Trent Seven came up short in the UK Heritage Cup tournament, which we'll talk about that at the end, because the biggest star I felt was the winner out of that tournament that got built in this set of tapings. Trent Seven, though, like I've said this for a while now, I feel like either Tyler Bate or Trent Seven, one of them needs to turn heel. A fresh villain, I feel like is needed with the UK. An established superstar, fresh villain, I feel like is needed. So why not, give like Tyler Bate or Trent Seven a different direction? But hats off where credit is due, especially in his match with A-Kid for the finals of the Heritage Cup. Trent Seven, as I've always said, is just so good at being a sympathetic babyface and just coming up short, making you believe that he had the chance. Again, just look back at the match, my tag match of the year, actually, in 2017. Or was it 18? No, it was 2018 it was. I think it was. 2018. Yeah, 2018. That match, wherever, they worked the hell out of the knee on Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate had to throw in the towel. Again, like that, you saw that here, especially again in the finish. The finish to the match that A-Kid had against Trent Seven to win the Heritage Cup. Again, he really had to push Trent Seven like way beyond his limits, to the point that Trent Seven said, "I quit." And again, like I said, it's just like, I think he plays that role so well. So the story, obviously, of him going after the Cruiserweight Championship, though, with Jordan Devlin is nice. Trent Seven's like, 216 pounds? But he's saying he's going to shed off some weight. And when he sheds off the weight, loses enough weight to fight for the Cruiserweight Championship. Oh, he's coming. He is coming for that Cruiserweight title. And that could very well be Seven's path to singles glory. He hasn't won a singles title yet. I mean, he's won the NXT tag titles with Tyler Bate, but as far as like a singles title, still eluding him. But the Cruiserweight title, sure, we'll see what he does with it. So we got that build going on there, and again, Ben Carter's debut, which I think he's awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do here. The tag title picture was not super duper active. I mean, they mainly continued on the story with the Hunt and the South Wales subculture continued, because these tapings were placed not long after the Hunt was revealed to be the ones to turn on Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, and then now they're basically Eddie Dennis's animals. And Eddie Dennis, who I'm not sure if Eddie's still hurt or not, but he's still more so working like a manager. But anyways, the Hunt won, and then they had a tag match against Gallus. They lost that match, and then they on the January 28th episode, they had Pretty Deadly have a match with South Wales Subculture, Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith, and the Hunt in a fatal 4-way elimination match for a new number contendership for the tag titles. And then Eddie Dennis, first I think the Hunt was eliminated, then it was Carter and Smith, but then Eddie Dennis, off a distraction, helped Pretty Deadly win it. I don't know. I don't think Pretty Deadly's ready yet to be challenged for the tag titles. Matt Stoker and whoever his name was, they have potential, yes, but I feel like it's still too early for them. Just saying, but we'll see what they do. As they're going to challenge Gallus for the tag titles some point soon. The UK women's title was pretty busy. We started off finishing off the feud with Kaylee Ray and Piper Niven. And they had a Falls Count Anywhere match in the main event of the November 19th episode. It was okay, but other than a few rough spots, them trying to play again the story about how Piper Niven getting more aggressive because of Kaylee Ray getting under her skin. Other than that, the match wasn't anything too special to me, I thought. As I continue to say, I think the problem is with, of course, the pandemic and the 6 months off, I still feel like that how long Kaylee Ray's been champion, and the whole idea of her wanting to have the greatest in the world to fight her, I still feel like that was more fit for Toni Storm. I still feel like Toni Storm should have had a longer reign with the UK Women's title than what Kaylee Ray's getting. I mean, again, most of it was just because, the pandemic. And again, I get her, simple, cunning ways that she is, her mind games. But I still feel like I've seen better. She's still good, but I still feel like I've seen better. But the match between Kaylee Ray and Piper Niven for Falls Count Anywhere ended when Jinny interfered, which I'm going to continue to say this. I still feel like Jinny is someone at the point where if it was possible to travel, I'd be okay with putting her in just NXT. I think she's one of the few women in NXT UK that, she's had a lot of opportunities. She does not need a championship to be elevated to the next level. So if they want to put her over in regular NXT, I'd be cool with it. She, again, has put on some very excellent work. Definitely one of my favorite women's wrestlers in the UK. But she costed Piper Niven the match. And then eventually Piper and Jinny have a number one contenders match, which I didn't get why they had to have Piper Niven get another number one contenders shot, because once again, she already had 3 opportunities for the women's title and lost all 3. So that has scratched my head a little bit. Another thing that kind of scratched my head a little bit is, why are they pairing Jinny with Joseph Connors? I've never been the biggest fan of Joseph Connors, and them being paired up, I don't get the point behind it. Other than the fact that, again, Jinny's basically, just showing how wealthy she is and paying him basically to help her out. Okay, but again, why Joseph Connors? But basically, Joseph Connors helped Jinny win, and she had a match with Kaylee Ray for the UK Championship. That was also pretty good. On the January 21st episode, Connors tried to interfere a couple times, but it didn't work out. And based off of some little things going wrong, Kaylee Ray was able to hit the gory bomb on Jinny for her to retain the UK title. After that, this past week, this is one of my favorite parts of these tapings. Kaylee Ray, of course, I said before, she wants the best in the world, she's saying now, which I said probably would be a better storyline for someone like, Toni Storm, but, it is what it is. But after they said that, guess who appeared? Who is coming to NXT UK? No one other than a Final Four participant in the Mae Young Classic, Meiko Satomura. Ooh. Kaylee Ray said she wants the best in the world. You got the best in the world with Meiko Satomura. Again, I loved Satomura's work in the second Mae Young Classic. Her match with Toni Storm in the semifinals was a Women's Match of the Year candidate for me that year. That was one hell of a match. If you haven't seen that match, go back to the second Mae Young Classic and watch it. It was incredible. And if they want that best in the world for Kaylee Ray to be Meiko Satomura, take my money. If they want to put her in NXT and have Meiko Satomura feud with Io Shirai, take my money. If they want to put Meiko Satomura in next year's Women's Royal Rumble match, take my money. She's going to be gold for the UK brand. And I cannot wait for her to see what she does when she clashes with Kaylee Ray. But that's the women's title picture. And then the biggest star that was built out of all of this was definitely A-Kid. Again, he on the November 26th episode, he defeated Trent Seven in that really awesome match I just put over before, for him to win the Heritage Cup. He had one defense of that Heritage Cup, which was against Tyler Bate, his longtime mentor, and they had an excellent match too. Tyler Bate actually was up 1-0 with in round 4, I think it was, and they put, they set, the stage for A-Kid to have an excellent comeback against Bate. Another excellent match to make another big star. And it led to A-Kid eventually getting a UK title match against Walter. Which, again, not as good as the match with Walter and Dragunov, but still an excellent match. I still think, again, that A-Kid was probably the biggest star built out of everyone. Again, with, his Heritage Cup victories over Trent 7 and Tyler Bate. Those were huge. The other matches he had in this championship tournament was also great. To me, I felt if there was like an MVP of this tapings, it would probably be A-Kid. And again, I don't know, maybe he'll go after the Cruiserweight Championship as well. Who knows? But I still think that he was the most built star out of these tapings. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for my quick review of NXT UK. Again, guys, I'm going to continue to try to do this. I'm trying to keep up with these monthly, doing once a month, but again, my schedule just didn't work out, so we'll see when I do this one next. But those are my thoughts on the recent thoughts of NXT UK, and as I said before, not the greatest show in the world, but it's a solid show. I still recommend giving it a shot when you guys have the time and seeing some of these talents for sure. So, again, nothing new in the live chat, so we can off and go watch Raw. What were your thoughts, guys, on the recent actions or the recent tapings of NXT UK? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. And there's always a slap a like on the video and subscribe to my channel. And follow me on Twitter at DemandAirborne93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow for my Raw review. Peace out, everybody.
Yeah, no, I will surprise. There's no